Hi, Faith Baptist. It's me, Pastor Borden, and I wanted to put a little video and letter out talking about the Mission Edge Church journey that we'll be embarking on starting this Sunday. And the Mission Edge Church concept is something that comes from our larger Baptist family, the Canadian Baptists of Atlantic Canada. And one of the goals that the CBAC set a few years ago was to try to encourage the majority of our Atlantic Baptist churches to adopt this outward-focused mentality. So the official definition of Mission Edge churches is this: communities of Jesus followers who align themselves around his continuing mission of sacrificial love, starting right within their neighborhoods, and from there, radiating his love to neighborhoods all around the world. So there are 6 mission markers which we're going to be exploring for the next 6 Sundays that define this kind of church. So 1 is live the Jesus way, and then 2, to radiate hospitality. 3rd, to have fluency in the good news. 4th, to embody the good news. 5th, to embrace partnerships. And then 6th, contextual responsiveness, which really just means understanding your neighborhood and community and then engaging with them in a way that's relevant. And so the goal of the different things we'll be doing through the Mission Edge Church concept is to engage the whole congregation in taking a fresh look at what our church can do to serve God well in the coming years. We want to identify new ministry initiatives and develop ways to change some of the things we already do if that would help us grow as disciples and better serve the people that God calls us to love and serve. So I want to quickly lay out what this process will look like and why we chose it and how you can be involved. Now, part of the process will be our Sunday services, so we're going to learn more about those 6 mission markers. And then the next phase is 4 weeks of small groups. All our current small groups will switch to this Mission Edge material for those 4 weeks, starting in the middle of February. And each week there will be a Bible passage to study. There'll be some questions about how it relates to your life and to the life of our church. And the questions and conversation are designed to start to look at where we are now as a church and what might be something that God wants for our future. So after the Sunday services and the small groups, we're going to have our biggest event in the process, which is March the 25th. And that is our Visioning Day. And that's a full Saturday event with lunch and childcare provided. And Reverend Dr. Greg Jones, who developed the Mission Edge Church material in his work at the Department of Church Renewal at the CBAC, he'll come and he'll facilitate that day for us. And we hope to walk away with a lot of wise thoughts and practical ideas, as well as, I hope, a shared sense of hope for what God can do with what he's given us. After the Visioning Day, the results will be taken by our deacons and pastors and turned into an action plan, and we'll have some clear and measurable goals that we can start implementing soon. And that action plan then gets presented back to the congregation by the beginning of June to seek your approval to move forward with that. So since last fall, our deacons meetings, we've been looking at some different options for bringing people together to talk about the future. And one of the things that really was not in doubt was that we need a fresh vision and a new plan for what comes next. We are not the same church we were in early 2020 when the pandemic began. We've seen members pass away, some move. We have quite a few new leaders in positions on our council and deacons. And we also know that the world around us has changed a great deal in that time too. What people want and need in our church and our community, it's not the same as it was. And so we can't simply carry on trying to do what we've always been doing. We chose the Mission Edge Church process for a few reasons. First of all, it involves the whole congregation. Rather than appointing a small group to spend 6 to 12 months working on their own and bringing back something for everybody else to see, this process lets everyone be involved right away. Second, this process can be done fairly quickly. It's important that we start taking new steps soon, not sometime next year. And so this gets the ball rolling. And third, the Mission Edge Church concept is not just about making some new plans or starting a new ministry. It's also an opportunity for all of us to really think and pray and talk about what belonging to a church should mean and how we can do that well. Whatever specific plans come out of the process, the teaching and conversations should be a help and a blessing to us regardless. So here's how you can be part of this Mission Edge thing and how to make this a season that really helps your church move forward. First, I would say please try to make it a priority to get out to these 6 Mission Edge Sundays. And if you miss one for whatever reason, you can check that out. Check out the teaching we put online. You can get that through YouTube, through podcast, through a couple different ways. You can read the sermons that get emailed out as well. And if you want access to physical copies of things, we can also do that, whatever helps you. Because checking out each week's message, it's a 20 or 30 minute commitment. It's not a whole lot, and it can do a lot to keep you in the loop about these 6 mission markers. The second thing would be to attend a small group, or to join a small group for that season if you're not in one right now, but you could for a little while. Get in on those initial conversations to help you get thinking about some of these ideas and concepts and start contributing some ideas about what could come next to the group leaders who will record that information to put in part of the action plan. The other thing would be, of course, save that date for March 25th. Plan to come out for that visioning day and bring with you your positivity about the future, your encouraging spirit, your desire to serve God in whatever way He asks. And the other thing you can do, wherever you are, whatever you're up to, would be to pray for the process. Pray for the leaders helping put it together. Pray that God would speak and that we would listen and that we would have unity along the journey. So thanks for listening to that description. And remember that with God, there's never a reason to doubt that the best is yet to come. There's nothing God cannot do. There's no resource that God cannot supply. There's no limit to who God can call into our midst to help us do what He wants us to do. And so if we are faithful, we'll see some wonderful things in this next season. Let's be faithful.